John Alagos was just 23 years old and is thought to be the youngest nurse known to have died of coronavirus. Like so many of those who've died, Arima Nazreen died in the hospital she worked in. She was 36 and had 3 children. She'd started working there as a cleaner for 15 years before graduating to become a nurse. Her sister, Kazima, works on the same ward Arima did.
Before they put the ventilator on, I waved. She waved back at me, and that's it. That's the last time.
Anton Sebastian Pillai died 4 days after being taken into the hospital where he worked in geriatrics.
It's not just been doctors and nurses who've died. Pooja Sharma was a pharmacist who worked at Eastbourne District General Hospital. She died a day after her father. He too had contracted coronavirus.
Lindsay Coventry was the first serving midwife in England to be killed by coronavirus.
Glenn Corbin had come out of retirement to help the NHS cope with the pandemic. Colleagues described him as the backbone of his team. Dr. Alpha Saradu was 68 years old. He was so determined to carry on treating patients that he worked part-time after he retired. His son called him a living legend.
Liz Glanister was a nurse at Aintree Hospital in Liverpool. She was a grandmother, described as a super nurse by people who knew her.
Amy O'Rourke was 39 when she died. She had 3 children, and her daughter, Megan Murphy, wrote on Facebook, "Look at all the lives you've looked after and all the families you comforted when patients passed away."
Dr. Habib Saidi was 76 and died in intensive care just 24 hours after being taken ill.
Professor Mohammed Sami Shusha died in London 2 weeks after catching the virus.
Jitu Rathod was only 58 years old. He was a specialist in cardiothoracic surgery at the University Hospital of Wales in Cardiff. Len Richards is the Chief Executive of Cardiff and Vale University Health Board.
I've had lots of texts and lots of messages from our staff telling me how much loved he was and how people are going to really miss him.
Dr. Amjad El Harani was 55 and worked as an ear, nose and throat specialist in the Midlands. His son said, "I'm incredibly proud to say that for 18 years of my life, Amjad El Harani was my father."
Thomas Harvey was a mental health nurse in North East London. Like so many, he contracted Covid-19 from one of his patients.
Adil El Tayyar was a heart specialist. We think he was the first NHS surgeon to die of the virus. He probably got it working in the A&E department at the hospital he was volunteering at. The BBC reporter Zainab Badawi was his cousin.
Clapping along with my neighbours engendered in me a feeling of unity, that we are all in this together and that we sink or swim together. That was why Adil became a doctor. That was why he volunteered to be on the front line during the crisis. That was why he risked his life. And that is why, sadly, he lost it. And this is the reason why we must always applaud the staff of our National Health Services.